Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Sessions. Today I brought in a good friend of mine, Rob. How you doing, Rob?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good. So, do you want to give a little bit of background on yourself?
Yeah, so first off on the reporting, I'm the kind of guy who clicks on every button. I always click the advanced option. I always dig through all of the menus and everything, see what I can find. So I've come across quite a lot of interesting things. But in terms of me, I've been selling online in some form or another since about 2008. I've been on Amazon since about 2014, mostly in the EU. A mix of started off with retail art, but then went into private label, wholesale, that kind of thing. But I'm really interested in online selling as a concept, the whole deal, the way you can meet customers and manage the whole thing. And I'm really a numbers guy. I'm really interested in the stats and then digging into things and seeing what I can find out. And using that to inform future business decisions.
So let's start with inventory reports. Give us a rundown on some of your favourites there.
So there's quite a few good reports. So this is just in the Seller Central dashboard, basically starting along from the top left in the inventory. The first one that I think is really interesting is inventory planning. So this one is quite new. This one's only sort of a few months old. It presents data in a better way that you used to be able to get in some of the more complicated reports, but it presents it in a really nice way now. It's great for restocking, working out where you've got overstock, working out where you're losing sales. It's really good for those people who are managing a ton of SKUs. So I started off in retail lab and at points have been managing sort of 700-800 SKUs.
Yeah.
So that's quite different from somebody who might start off in private label and only manage one or two, which let me tell you is a lot easier, and I much prefer that. But it makes you find ways of managing large amounts of data. So this is brilliant because you can actually see where you might be going out of stock on something. You can tell it how long it takes a supplier to produce a unit, how long the shipping lead is, how much minimum stock you want to have. So it can set up all of your alerts for your reordering and that kind of thing. It can tell you if you're likely to have too much of some stock, so you know where you might have cash tied up that could be being put to better use.
Yeah.
Tell you how many inventory turns you're doing, tell you how old your stock is, so you know if you're going to be hitting a long-term storage fee. This is all just in that first one, in that one dashboard that's called Inventory Dashboard.
And so with this in mind, I mean, do you think in terms of setting up, I don't use it, so I'm going to just completely guess here. Is it like a rules-based system? It's an algorithm, so it does the calculations for you, and you just punch in a load of information, and it will give you a pretty good benchmark on managing the SKUs for restocking and velocity and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's pretty good if you punch in data, but even without punching anything in, it knows what you're low on stock on. It might say, oh, you've sold 8 of these in the last 30 days. So based on this, you've got, another week or two's inventory. 8's maybe a bit of a low number. So you've sold 80 of them in the last 30 days. Or it might say, you've been out of stock of this one for a while, you should consider reordering it. Again, it's great for wholesale stuff, managing lots of SKUs if you're forgetting about things. It tells you how many days of supply you've got, so you can just count down. That's without even putting anything in. But as soon as you do put in data, then this stuff gets more refined. Yeah. So if you put in that my minimum order for this is 500 units, the turnaround time of the factory is this long, the shipping time is this long, and it'll tell you, right, well, you need to reorder this many days out. You might need to reorder 100 days out. So when you've got 100 days of stock left or something like that, depends how far away factory is, what kind of MOQs they're doing.
Cool. I mean, I feel that Amazon doesn't, I mean, Amazon don't really do a good job, I don't think, of presenting the information well, because, I mean, does this also give you're able to set up alerts with this as well?
Yeah, you can do your alerts. I mean, you can do the alerts in the normal system as well, but these ones are a bit more nuanced. These ones are a bit more refined because they can look at different lengths of time, because at certain times your velocity is going to be different than other times. So at certain times, a 2-month stock might be 1,000 units, and at other times, 2-month stock might be 5,000 units.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. And there's a couple of more inventory reports. You want to run over those?
Yeah, sure. So the next one I think is really interesting is just called inventory reports. So if you click on inventory, go into inventory reports. There's a load of interesting stuff in here, but the really good one is called the category listings report.
Yeah.
So first off, this one does not appear as standard. You have to open a case with seller support, and you have to say, please enable the category listings report for my account.
Yeah.
They will enable it for 90 days, and then it will disappear again. But what this one does is it enables you to get your entire listing data out. So let's say you sell in sports and outdoors. You go in, you generate the category listings report for the category of sports and outdoors, and it gives you all of your ASINs, it gives you the descriptions, it gives you the bullets, it gives you the keywords, it gives you everything. So you can take like a snapshot backup of what you've got there. And you can reuse these reports as listing files to update products as well.
Yeah, so these are going to be handy if you want to migrate some information over to new flat files.
Yeah, they're great for migrating those flat files. They're great for taking like a backup of your listings if you're worried about messing around with them, or to look at historical things. So I think what a lot of people do is they make changes to their listings to try and improve the conversion rate and stuff, but they can't really remember what change they made when, and if they've done this change before the other direction. So I think it's good that when you are making changes to your listing, that you keep a dated record of what it is you're changing, what you're hoping to achieve, and this allows you to take those snapshots.
Cool. And is there any other inventory reports you want to cover?
That's the last of the inventory reports that I think are really interesting. All that I would say is with inventory reports, just like all reports, always dig into those custom columns, turn on everything you can, anything that looks interesting, because if you get it into Excel or whatever, you can always ignore these columns once you've got them in. But if you don't ever export them, the data's never going to be there for you.
Yeah, makes total sense. What about the pricing dashboard?
The pricing dashboard's another cool one I think a lot of people overlook. Everybody's always worried about hijackers, right? They're worried about somebody coming onto their listing, selling their branded product against them. They're worried about losing the buy box, that kind of thing. This one is a really quick snapshot that will tell you your buy box win percentage, your price competitiveness, and your sales conversion.
Yeah.
So if you're a private labeler, your buy box win percentage should be as close to 100% as possible at all times. The only reason it shouldn't be at 100% is if you've got a hijacker really, or something's gone wrong with your listing and you've lost buy box eligibility. So you can just go straight in there, see that you're winning the buy box 100% every day. Jobs are good, and you don't need to worry about hijackers. Likewise, you can see your sales conversion over time. Now, this is for every product that you have in the range. So if you've got only one product, then that sales conversion will be the sales conversion for that one product. But if you've got big range of stuff, it's the average overall.
Yeah.
But it helps you see the general trends. And again, it's an early warning system is how I like to think of this dashboard. You don't have to go digging through lots of reports. You just look, everything's green, the lines are all in roughly the right place, things are fine.
Yeah, so I mean, most of this work is generally good for your VA, isn't it? For they're doing a once over on your account on a daily basis. It's giving them some shortcuts to go there. What about orders?
So there's some order reports in there. I think these are most interesting for merchant fulfilled sellers. It's mostly to do with things that you've got to do. It's to do with shipments that you need to make. It's to do with your shipment history, things like that. I mean, there's a few in there that are okay, but I think most of the useful information that would be in the orders thing for FBA sellers is somewhere else. This one is one to look into for MF sellers.
Right. Okay. And so in orders, obviously you get the orders, but is there demographic information that you could utilize there to understand where your sales are taking place? Say you're selling in the US. Have you got, what's it called? Not postcodes. What's the US version?
Zip codes.
Zip codes and stuff like that.
Right, so you'd think that they'd be in orders, wouldn't you? But because that's MF focused, they actually put that information somewhere else for FBA sellers. So what they do is they put that in the reports, and then fulfillment by Amazon, then sales, and then customer shipment sales. So that's your actual shipments. So that one is really good for working out where your products are popular. For instance, for helping your targeting on Facebook or AdWords, or if you know that you're selling across the US, which is a huge continental area, there's different climates in there, so something that is going to be really popular in Florida is not going to be popular in Alaska if it's a seasonal product. So it allows you to kind of confirm that kind of thing, take a closer look at where things might be popular, if something interesting is going on. But yeah, for informing off Amazon targeting, I think that one can be really handy.
Cool. And in terms of payment reports, so obviously it's all right for tax accounting. What else can you use that for?
I'm not sure that there's a lot else that you can use that for instance. I don't know. I mean, because you don't have the product costs in there, you're missing huge amounts of stuff.
Yeah.
I actually don't think that they're that interesting. I think they're one to send to the accountant
Yeah.
and not a lot else. What is interesting is there's a way of extending the range of the payment reports. So as standard, you can only do 6-month reports, but there's a special URL that you can use for getting reports that are longer than that, for 12-month reports.
Gotcha. Makes sense. And Selling Coach, I mean, it's something, I mean, after these reports, because as I said, I use a mixture of Efficient Era and Seller Legend. That's not plugs, I'm no affiliate to them, but I like the combination of both of those. I tend to ignore all of these reports, and I see Seller Coach, but I never tend to click on it. Do you want to give me a bit of background on that?
So Seller Coach is sort of, I think, what was like the beta version of that inventory planner. That's what people used to use before the nice shiny new dashboard came about a few months ago. So that's really good for the same kind of thing. So managing stock levels if you're a wholesaler across a lot of SKUs.
Yeah.
But now I think that one is just a bit dull. If you're talking about dull, boring reports, this is really one of those compared to the new ones which show the same data.
Yeah, so it sends a glass eye to sleep. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so email settings. Let's talk about the Seller Coach one. I've got, because I'm looking at your notes that you sent me over here. So email settings driving you nuts. That's a really good one. Go on.
Exactly. So this is buried in the reports, which you wouldn't really expect to find it in there. I'm not really sure why they put it there because it should be in the settings. But what it's about is turning off all those annoying notifications you get. You know, the ones that might tell you, oh, these products are popular in your category, or restock this item. And you think, yeah, I know I've got to restock that. I've got the order in. I'm waiting on them to get back to me with the PO.
Yeah.
It's all those little things. I mean, some of the notifications you get are really handy. If something has become suspended, if there's a problem, but a lot of them are just going to fill up your email inbox so quickly. And as a new seller, you're going to get completely overwhelmed with them. And as an old seller, you're going to have gigabytes of these emails. So go through that report, turn them off. So that one is reports, Selling Coach, and then email settings.
Cool. Business reports. Pretty straightforward, this one.
Yeah, I mean, this one could be hours and hours of stuff in itself. This is what most people think of when they say reports. This is the one that all of the so-called gurus give screenshots of, showing their massive figures, how they've gone from a penny to £1 million in 12 months or 2 months or whatever.
Yeah, and either a bit of Photoshop or they're using some pre-programming in Chrome in the background.
Exactly, yeah, just overwriting it all. There's a lot of SKU level data in there that can be really interesting. You can get SKU level data for products that you don't have in stock as well. That can be quite interesting. But even if you do have them in stock and you're not making sales, you can get some interesting data in there. So it used to be a tactic, bit black hat, where people would go on a competitor listing and make a merchant fulfilled offer at some silly price, so £100, £500, and then they could get access to data in this report. You can see things like the unit sessions and the percentages and stuff like that. You can see how much traffic that listing is getting.
Cool.
But I mean, you open yourself up to a lot of issues if you do that, so it's not one I'd recommend.
Going back slightly on inventory, what about the inventory adjustments and health reports? Give us a rundown of those two.
So the inventory adjustments and health reports, so those ones are in reports, then fulfillment by Amazon, inventory, and inventory adjustments. So this is the one where it shows you what a mess it is inside Amazon's warehouse. This is the one where even if you got units in, you think, oh, I shipped in 500 units, they've all checked in fine, they're just sitting there and I haven't even sold any. You go in that report and you'll see there are changes every day. Oh, we lost this. Oh, we found this. Oh, transferred to another owner. Oh, we found all of these. Now you got 505, even though you sent in 500. This is the one, I mean, it'll drive you mad looking at it, but if they say something's been lost, you can actually see when it was lost, where it was lost, and you might have to raise a case on this. You can see that if you've had a product which you get disposed, that it says transferred to another owner. This one is for changes within the Amazon fulfillment center to your inventory, and it really exposes how much a mess things can be, certainly at busy times of the year.
Yeah. And so you've got notes here, inventory cost, cover estimates, and also talking about the long-term storage fees, which I think is
Yes.
quite big, you know.
Yeah, it can be quite big. So there's changes coming to the way storage is charged. So this might not be so relevant in future, but generally long-term storage fees are charged twice a year, and they can be quite big. I mean, if you've got a lot of inventory, and there can be thousands and thousands. So this report is in Reports Fulfillment by Amazon in Inventory and Inventory Health. So it's another good place to see estimates of the cover for inventory you've got and help you avoid those fees. It gives you guesses at what those fees are going to be. So you can make sure that, I need to make sure to run my stock down on that, or
Yeah.
I'm carrying too much here, or this one's fine. I'm consistently staying under the lowest estimate of in stock.
I say to everyone now, never leave your stock in Amazon. Just send it in just in time. Use a prep center. It's a bit of a pain when you're updating your cogs every time you're sending a shipment in, if there's slight adjustments, just to stay on top of your P&L if you're using software, for instance. But
yeah, well, it's nuts that anybody would ever do it any other way. I mean, if you look at, was it Toyota with the Kaizen method, they're all about just in time. It's all about having things in the right place at the right time. You don't want things to go stale, especially if they're sort of dated things with an expiry date. But just in general, you don't want your stock in Amazon's warehouse where they control it any longer than necessary. You don't want your money tied up in stock any longer than necessary. So you should definitely be trying to avoid those long-term storage fees.
yeah.
Any report that helps with that is good, but I mean, you shouldn't even be putting yourself anywhere near to that.
Okay, what about the Fulfillment by Amazon sales, Amazon fulfilled shipments?
So that one is good for getting the tracking numbers of the shipments to the customer. So this, you'd think it would be displayed on the front end where you could just see it in the order details, but it's not. So if the customer says to you, hi, could you tell me when is this going to get to me? Has it shipped? Blah, blah, blah. You think, well, Amazon track everything. Why can't I see the tracking number? If you go into this report, it'll tell you who the courier is, and it'll tell you the tracking code. So I had somebody contact me the other day who bought something to go to Italy, and it told me it was Italy Post. It told me the tracking number, and I could go and punch that into a tracking website. 17track.net is really good for this, because it doesn't matter who the courier is. You put in any tracking code worldwide, and it will track it for you. So yeah, get the tracking code from there, go in, you can see whether the shipment's been delivered and signed for, you can see where it is if it's a continuously tracked shipment. Some of this data is now pulled into these third-party systems like, I think, CashCow, Proefficient, Era, Seller, Selix, is it? Something like that. They're all pulled into these third-party dashboards. But as standard in the Amazon system, this is the only place where you can get that tracking number for the actual parcel.
Cool. What about reports, Fulfillment by Amazon, customer concessions?
Customer concessions. So this one is about returns that have gone back to Amazon. Now, you might decide to pull these out and manage them yourself. You might just say to Amazon, oh, you dispose of them. What I found, though, is that lots of people return stuff that they say is faulty, and it's not.
Yeah.
Or they return stuff that they say is fine, but the packaging is damaged and the product inside is okay.
Yeah.
So when Amazon get these products back, they stick a little sticker on it called an LPN. That's a license plate number. And it's got a big barcode on it. When you do a removal order, they get an old second-hand ratty box, they put all your returns in it, and they send it back to you. You get them out, and you think, well, which of these products that I've got in front of me, these 40 or 50 of the same products, is which return?
Yeah.
The answer is the LPN. So what you do, you get into this report, you can do the view online, you can download the report, you get your barcode scanner, you scan the LPN, then you look in the reason for return, click on that, and it'll tell you why the customer said they're returning it. So, doesn't work with my existing system, or the CD player was skipping a lot, or it came and the box was damaged, or unwanted birthday present, or whatever. So whether, if it's an unwanted birthday present, you look at it, just like, well, it hasn't been used, it's fine, it can maybe just go straight back or can be reboxed. But if they say it doesn't work, then you might need to investigate it. And then you can start tracking your stats and see, well, I'm getting this much genuine failure rate, ignoring what Amazon customers say. I'm getting this much genuine failure rate on the product. Am I happy with that, or do I need to go back to my factory and talk to them about it?
Makes total sense. What about, I've missed one here, what about reimbursements?
So reimbursements is about Amazon refunding you for things that you've been charged for that maybe you shouldn't have been charged for. So it's for if they've lost your inventory, or it's for if they have reimbursed a customer and charged you for the customer doing a return, given them a 45-day window to return the product, and then the customer's failed to return the product within the 45 days. What they should do in that situation is recharge the customer and reimburse you, but they don't always do that. So this is the place to check that you've actually got the right amount of money, that you've been reimbursed and refunded by Amazon when they say you have, and that the amounts all add up properly. And by doing your reconciliation reports, it'll enable you to dispute any reimbursements that you think should have happened but haven't.
Cool. Yeah. No, I mean, we've got one on a spreadsheet on the website. As soon as people land on sellersessions.com, they can download a few of the spreadsheets. One of those is help with the reimbursements and set those up so they can make contact with Amazon and cut and paste their data into the sheet to do the calculations. What do you do in terms, I know that you use a bit of a mixture, don't you? You use some software, plus you use these reports you're always digging around. Do you have anything that you're using, any scripts or anything like that that would help people that are not using software and wants to manually manage this?
So I think you can do a lot of interesting things in Excel or in Google Sheets. I think that it's always a mistake to try and reinvent the wheel. If there's a piece of software that can do the job properly and you're comfortable sharing your data, your API keys with that piece of software, then do it. Yeah. I don't think there's any point in writing and reinventing your own scripts if there's something that works. But if you do want to do things yourself, Excel and Google Sheets are brilliant. You import these reports, filter by the columns up at the top, and then you can go through and color highlight things. You can go and do a bit of maths in there. Like you say, these reports that you manage through these spreadsheets that you offer on the website, yeah, it's a good way of managing data. It's a good thing for your VA to do. But I think what is important is that a lot of the information that Amazon have does go stale after a while. Yeah. So after 18 months, they start paring down the data. Mm-hmm. So you can see daily inventory history back for 18 months. But on that point, they consolidate those into monthly inventory histories. So you can't necessarily see what's happened, which is why it's important to download these reports regularly if you want to do detailed analysis. And particularly if you're trying to do something like stock snapshots for certain dates, maybe tax accounting points. Yeah. You need the daily data for that. So you need to not be forgetting about it for years because the data will be gone.
Makes sense. And so for anyone who's out there, we've covered quite a lot of reports, and we can put this all into the show notes so people can know where to go and a little brief description for each of them. Because, in all honesty, this stuff isn't always super exciting for people, is it? So what you want to do is the 80-20 rule. You want to get the most key reports for your day-to-day. So what would you summarize? What would be your top 3 or 4 reports that you would go to make sure that people are staying on top of their game?
So I think that the most important one they've got is actually the newest one. I think it's that inventory planning one that we did right at the top. Yeah. So that one is for managing your in-stock rates. It's for managing your reordering. It's for seeing how old and how stale your inventory is. Because you don't want to be getting to a position where all of your inventory is going to hit long-term storage at once. Yeah. Maybe if you haven't been keeping your eye on the ball. So I think that one is incredible. Cool. I think the category listings report is brilliant for taking sort of backup snapshots of your listing for when you're making changes. And I think that actually the return reports are quite interesting to see.
The customer comments.
The customer comments, exactly, because you're getting real customer feedback there. You might not have been soliciting it through an email service, and some of those things that come back might be lies. But what I do is if there's a customer comment that I think I can learn from, I've got a little Dymo label printer. So I print out the customer comment on a label and I stick it to the product. And then I end up with a box of them. And if they've all ended up with the same complaints on them, I think, well, this is something I need to address.
Yeah, makes total sense. Cool. Let's wrap that there. How's the best way that people can reach you for consultancy, questions, that kind of thing?
So if you email me, hi@mightyservices.co.uk, or come to mightyservices.co.uk, I do basically technical and creative services for Amazon and e-com sellers. So I'm always interested in data, interested in how I can make it work for you.
Excellent. Sounds good. Thanks, guys, for joining us today. Rob, thank you for joining me. If this is your first time, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, we'll see you again soon. Take care.